everyone, welcome back to my devlog for Infernomon. Infernomon is a game where I'm combining aspects from my favorite childhood game, Pokemon, with my favorite childhood book, Harry Potter, and combining those two things together and making a 2D RPG dungeon crawler. Infernomon is a game I'm building using the Game Maker Studio 2 engine. The game is going to be released on PC. I've been working on the game part-time as I've been working a full-time job as a software developer. The past few weeks I've been working on building a UI for managing the team builder as well as being able to move Infernomon around inside of your bag. So the very first thing I started doing was I put together a rough sketch of what I wanted the UI to look like. And so in the end, I'm hoping it'll be somewhat close to this, but look a lot cleaner. UI and art design are a bit of a weakness for me, so we'll see how this turns out. So the first thing I started doing was working on the Infernomon roll slots. In the game, I added a button on the castle HUD. Over in my project directory, I had this main hub object that's responsible for displaying all these buttons here at the bottom of the screen. So all I did was add this team builder button. So it's very ugly right now. I'll be updating all these icons soon. So essentially, when this button gets clicked, this calls a script over in my team builder directory. So this object, main HUD object, will call this team builder script. And inside this team builder folder, this is where I have all the different scripts responsible for displaying this view here that you're seeing. But most of the work is being done inside of the display team builder. So in this script, I've added a bunch of different mouse events to handle the different hovering and dragging and dropping and clicking and all that different kind of stuff. I also have a bunch of different sections here for displaying the different objects on the HUD, for displaying the different UI elements that you're seeing on this view. But a lot of this code is very repetitive, and so I'm thinking this stuff will get broken down to different functions because I have a function for displaying the two different Infernomon as well as displaying the player. So a lot of this stuff I'll probably rip out and make it more reusable and make the code more functional. So now we'll just look over the actual end menu and see what I have so far. So there are 3 different role slots in the game. They are tank, assassin, and support. Each Infernomon in the game has one of those same 3 roles. And what will happen is when an Infernomon is in a slot that matches their role, then they will become even more powerful. So for example, Venonid here is an assassin and is in the assassin slot, so he'll do bonus damage. But if he's moved to the support slot, so if I drag and dropped him here, since he's now an assassin in the support slot, he won't get that bonus damage that he would get if he is in the assassin slot. The unique thing about the player though is that he can take on any role and get the role bonus no matter what slot he is in. So he can be a tank, an assassin, or support, and he's always going to get that slot bonus no matter what. Some of what we have here is a little bit different than what we had in the wireframe. So right now the level that the Infernomon is displayed in the top left, the rating is in the top middle, and then their types are on the top right, or in this case Tadlick just has one type. And then also your stats are displayed on the far right. I don't love the way this looks right now, and I'm going to continue to move things around and style them until I like them. So that's kind of what I have working so far. So next I'll be working to display the Infernomon in your bag here over on the right in this empty space. And you'll be able to drag and drop those Infernomon over your different active team slots to swap them out. So that's what I have working after working kind of part-time for a few days now. And I'm excited to dive back in and flesh this screen out a bit more. So spring finally came, and I love seeing how fast my lawn went from brown to green. There's also something so satisfying about mowing a lawn. I think having our first baby this year is really bringing the dad out of me. My wife and I love watching random videos on YouTube of people cleaning up messy yards or perfecting their lawns. There's a funny guy with a YouTube channel called Yard Bra that we just drool over when we see how clean his lawn is. We've been in this house for 1.5 years, and last year we completely redid the irrigation system and planted a bunch of shrubs and trees. So this spring has been super exciting to see almost everything grow back and start to bloom, although it's super sad when something dies. But most of the things we did plant came back and are looking pretty healthy. So we've made some pretty good progress on the Team Builder UI. You can see on the right, we now have Infernomon showing up in the inventory. Infernomon can be dragged and dropped onto different slots and it swaps them, as well as move Infernomon from bag to bag by either just dropping them onto the bag, or if you drag them and hover over the bag for a little bit, it'll switch bags and then you can put them in whatever slot you want. If your bag is full, for now it just says full. The bag prevents you from dropping any other Infernomon onto that bag. You can also freely move Infernomon from the bag to the team builder and vice versa. I also decided to add a wooden background. I got the inspiration for this from Warcraft Rumble, which I like play in my free time whenever I have a few minutes. You can also see I'm displaying these roll icons above each slot. And so when the icon is glowing, that means your Infernomon's roll matches up with the slot that it's in. So for example, a Shello is in the tank slot, so this icon's going to light up, and Genishroom is a support, and is in the support slot, so that lights up. But if I were to swap these, they no longer have the slot bonus, so these are just not glowing anymore. So you want to have them equipped in their proper roll slot if you want them to be more effective in battle, but it's also perfectly fine to have them in mismatching slots. It just won't be as effective. If we go ahead and take a look in GameMaker Studio, inside of the Team Builder folder, I added a bunch of new scripts. One of the main scripts I added is this display Team Builder bag. This script essentially determines which bag is currently selected and then indexes to player's Infernomon inventory and loops over all the Infernomon in that bag and then displays them. I've also added a bunch of scripts here on the right for handling all the different mouse events, for dragging Infernomon around between the Team Builder slots and the bag slots and moving things around from bag to bag and so forth. So functionally, I like where this is at right now. I may do some more styling in the future to clean things up, but I'm at least currently happy with the progress. So next thing we'll start working on is a hover event for the Infernomon. So when you hover over one of the Infernomon in the bag, it displays more info about the Infernomon, like their stats, their attacks, their equipped pendant, and gems, and so forth. So we'll take a break there and be back in a bit. So before I got busy a few years back, and this was before meeting my spouse and dating and getting married and moving into a new house and redoing our yard, I started to take working out and eating more seriously, but all the busy activities in my life has kind of put that to the side. And even before that, I went from being lazy to being in shape and now back out of shape again. But at least this time, the reason that I am out of shape isn't because I'm lazy, but it's just because I don't have as much time now. But I really do miss being healthy and in shape, so I want to start taking things more seriously again in the gym and in the kitchen. But now, since I am a lot more busy, really my only option for getting in a workout in the day is to wake up at 6 a.m. and do my workout at that time, which is a lot earlier than I'm used to. But I'm happy to say for the past month, I have been pretty consistent with the working out. I've been getting in at least 5 days, usually 3 days of weightlifting, and then 2 or 3 days of running or cardio. But the eating hasn't been as good as I like it to be. I am hitting my protein requirements, so my goal is to get at least 0.7 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That means I weigh around 180 right now, and so I've been getting probably around 150 grams of protein each day. But I have been eating a lot of junk food, so I'm going to try to cut back on that. So hopefully next month I can do a bit better in the kitchen. Alright, so I've got the Infernomon hovering about halfway done. Similar to the bag images, in the different corners I'm showing the level, rating, role, and types. I'm displaying the total stats on the left, the Infernomon image in the middle, and then the equipped pendant on the far right. Or if there's no equipped pendant, then I just have no pendant equipped text showing. If the pendant has any gems socketed onto it, it'll display those as well. So for example, on Gobclaw, You can see he has the support collar pendant equipped, and then has a health gem and an attack gem socketed onto the pendant to give him an additional health and attack boost. And then if I go to Benedid, he has a fast feather equipped, and then has a pink gem which will boost special defense. The hover view is slightly more detailed than the team builder view, so these images that you see here. Then I'll have a completely separate Infernomon view where if you actually click one of these Infernomon in the bag or in the team builder, it'll pop up a new view. It'll give you an even more in-depth breakdown, so it'll show everything that you're seeing on the hover, plus more, and this is where you can switch out your pendant and equip different gems onto the pendant and do a few other things. But I still have more to do on this hover view before I do that. I need to make the positioning of the hover more dynamic, so because if you're on the far right here, you literally can't see anything. So I need to fix that so it pushes the hover to the left if you're on the side of the screen. I also still need to display the pendant stats, the Infernomon's attacks, the Infernomon's individual stats, which the individual stats are just what make up the star rating on the Infernomon. That's going to be similar to what you see on the Conjuring view. So after you conjure an Infernomon, it gives you these individual stat ratings that are assigned at random. And so this Benelman that I just summoned is a 3.4 stars. So this just little section here, I'll display on that hover as well. And then also display attacks on the hover, similar to this Conjuring screen as well. So that'll all be added to this hover view. And then the last thing will be to display the Infernomon's dungeon score, which will be calculated based on how difficult of dungeons the Infernomon has completed. All of this will most likely be completed by the time I make my next YouTube video, but for now, we are going to stop there. Alright, thank you for those who stuck around to the end. It really means a lot. One thing I'm looking forward to doing is finishing this book, Atomic Habits. I'm about 4 chapters in right now. I've really been liking it, and some of the principles I've learned from the book have already been helping me, I feel like, in my own life, making my game. One of the things it talks about is adopting good habits and building systems that'll help you become 1% better in many different categories of your life. And I feel like I've already been implementing that by creating a calendar, a task board for my game, as well as a Trello board for me and my wife for help completing home projects and doing chores and things like that. So up next, I'll finish building the team builder view in my game, and then after that, I'm going to actually focus on adding only features that are going to help push me towards the release of my first game demo. So that'll be my main focus on all the tasks that I'm going to be creating. So thanks again for those who tuned in, and I will see you in the next video.